Making generalizations and summarizing various text types based on elements. English 5, Quarter 3, Week 4. Summarizing teaches students how to recognize the important ideas in the text, how to ignore irrelevant information, and how to integrate the central ideas in a meaningful way. After going through this lesson, you are expected to first, make generalizations. Second, summarize various text types based on element. A generalization is a broad statement drawn from a group of facts about a topic. It must be supported by evidence that is logical and factual. Learning to make generalizations will help you develop conclusions and identify trends. In making generalizations, we may use the following guidelines. First, gather information. Second, identify relationship among facts. Third, make a generalization that states a relationship and is consistent with the most or with most of the supporting facts. A clue word such as all, most, always, usually, or generally signals that an author is making generalization. Let us read an example of that. Asma's letter on Christmas is different in some ways. 1. It isn't a greeting card. 2. It is a letter addressed to Jesus Christ, who is not a common person, relative, friend, or acquaintance. Jesus, for the Christians, is the son of Mary. And 3. The letter is asking for some explanation of the untoward happenings here on planet Earth. Lastly, the letter will not be mailed but will be placed on the altar for the angels to carry to Jesus. Amazingly, different in three ways, the letter holds the greatest message of all time, the message of love and justice, of brotherhood and sisterhood. Which sentence states the generalization? What did you know? Or how did you know? What examples, reasons, or facts are presented to validate the generalization? What words or phrases introduce them? Remember that generalizations are like big umbrellas. The highlighted or the yellow highlighted words are what we call the generalization in that example. A summary restates only the main points of a text without giving examples or details such as dates, numbers, or statistics. When you summarize, you keep in mind the answers to 5W, H, and how questions. Texts are written for a variety of purposes using different forms and standards of composition. These forms of writing are known as text type, and there are two main text types, factual and literary. Factual text types include factual description, recount, or persuasive, while literary text type include poetry, narrative, or personal response. One of its kind is the narrative text. It is a type of literary text that tells a story and it presents series of events which can either be fiction or nonfiction. Fiction narrative may include picture books, cartoons, fantasy, adventure, science fiction, fairy tales, legends, fables, or plays, while the nonfiction narrative include autobiography, biography, memoir, diary, and others. The basic elements of narrative include the theme, setting, characters, and plot. Theme refers to the author's message about life or human nature he or she tries to convey in the story. Setting answers the when and where the story happens, and the characters are the people, animals, or things playing an important role for the events. And the plot consists of the episodes happened through beginning, middle, and ending events. Now that you already know its elements, let us find out how are we going to summarize if we come across with a very long text. Here are some ways on how you can summarize a text. Let us have text letter A and text letter B. How is text A different from text B? You are right. Text A is longer while text B is shorter. Text B is the summary of text A, which is the original text. How are the two texts the same? Do they have the same idea and details? Correct. They have the same idea. Likewise, you may also use a summary chart to organize your ideas like in story grammar. We have the story grammar on our screen, setting, characters, and plot. Another way of summarizing a text is through scanning and skimming. Scanning is a technique of quick reading that helps you find specific details or relevant information. When you scan, you only find the keywords needed to answer the questions. And here are the tips on how you are going to do this. Look for the key information, look at each paragraph, locate the topic sentence, the first one, and decide what the main point is, and list the key points and include only the main ideas of the text. Skimming is letting your eyes and mind skip over the text quickly as to note the most important points. What do you do when you skim? Let your eyes travel down the page lightly but rapidly. Find the keywords that tell to who, what, when, where, and why, and how. Keep in mind that the first sentence in a paragraph or the first paragraph of an article usually contains the important details that give the general idea. As you skim, you may underline, circle, or put any mark on the words or phrase which are to be remembered. You may write the summary in a complete sentence or two, just like in our example. We underline the important details in this paragraph. Now let us have our first learning task. Get your pen and your notebook. Read each sentence. Is it a generalization? Write yes or no on the following statement and write the signal word. Number 1, all boys love to play basketball. Number 2, some people are afraid of the dark. Number 3, the grade 5 learners are respectful. Number 4, my sister and my brother are fond of playing chess. And number 5, always wear face mask in going to the market. And these are the correct answers. For the next learning task, summarize in 5 to 6 sentences the fable Two Cats and a Monkey using the 5 WH and how as guide questions. Read the story. And this is the possible answer. Two cats went for the search of food and found a loaf of bread. They quarreled over it. A monkey saw them and offered a solution by dividing the bread into unequal parts. He ate a larger piece until nothing left. Clever Monkey climbed back to the tree. For this learning task, you have to read the text and write a generalization of the details on your paper. Read the selection. And this is the possible generalization of that text or passage. Astronomers have different assumptions and theories on how heavenly bodies were formed. Now, let us have this activity. You have to summarize its elements by completing the graphic organizer we have earlier. The title is Until We Eat Again by Mary Grace de Galicia. Read the selection. And this is the possible answer to that activity. We have the story grammar where there is setting, characters, and plot. Now let us have this paragraph. You have to provide a generalization. Read the paragraph. And this is the possible answer. The spread of infectious diseases can be controlled by means of immunization, hand washing, and general cleaning. This time, let us have this activity. You have to summarize the text by skimming through the selection. Your answer should be in a complete sentence or two. Cover the main idea and use your own words. Read the selection. And this is the possible answer. The development of ideas both in printed words and writing sent to readers across time, space, and years. For the next learning task, you have to read the text below and make a generalization. Choose the letter of your answer. Number 1. Aryan showed her report card to her friend, Kyle. Aryan receives all A's on her report card. Her teacher said that she enjoys having Aryan in her class. Is it A. Aryan is a girl? Letter B. Aryan enjoys going to school? Or letter C. Aryan received A's in all of the subjects? Number 2. The canteen servers have noticed that when they serve green beans, the green beans often remain uneaten. When they serve squash, however, most squash are gone when the student return their lunch trays. Is it A, squash is a vegetable, B, more kids like green beans, or letter C, most students eat squash than green beans in school? Number 3, a blue whale can reach a length of 100 feet. That is almost as long as 3 school buses. Blue whales are thought to be as one of the biggest animals that ever lived on Earth. A. Blue whales are the ocean's king. B. No other is as big as the blue whale. Or letter C. The size of a blue whale is very impressive. And these are the correct answer. Let us read the paragraph and make a generalization on what they prefer to eat. Octokids. If you travel to Oceanland to go snorkeling in the clear blue water, you will find octokids. Octokids make their houses in the coral reefs in warm waters. They love to find caves to curl up in, and octokids sometimes eat snails but always eat algae, plants, leaves, seaweeds, and seagrass. And this is the possible answer. For the last activity, you have to summarize the story, The Ant and the Dove. Read the story. And this is the possible answer to that activity. An ant gets too close to a rushing river and falls in. A dove sees the ant struggling in the river. The dove saves the ant. Later, the ant gets the chance to save the dove. The ant and the dove form a lasting friendship. And that ends our lesson for week 4. Thank you for listening. Happy learning. Bye bye.